Mysterious Movado here, humans, and you are watching and listening to Drinkin at Moe's. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is Drinkin at Drinkinatmos, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkin at Moe's, where we don't quit. Drinkin at Moe's, that's where it's at, like a power bomb. We hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, always a scream.
You know, I've always said here at Drainamos, just because it says drinking at Moe's does not mean it has to be alcoholic. So I'm happy to say Drinking at Moe's is sponsored by Prince Nana Coffee. The exact same guy you see every week on Dynamite, on Collision. Yes, he has his own coffee, and it's freaking delicious. They don't even roast those beans until you've placed your order. And you might be telling me, hey, Big Mo, I'm more of a tea guy. They got you covered there too. Use the referral link in the description of this video. And let's get you dancing like Prince Nana with Prince Nana Coffee. But I get for sometimes recording in my basement. But today I'm excited to have with me straight from planet Detroit, Mysterious Movado. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing mysteriously. How about yourself, human?
Oh, I can't be complaining too much. As of recording, we're hot off the heels of WrestleMania, and for being a relatively new parent, I'm in getting to hold my son while I'm watching WrestleMania. That was a special moment for lifelong fans such as myself,
Oh, how special. That's awesome.
and getting to see some special moments. It might not have been the best WrestleMania ever, but to have some special moments and getting to share that with my son, I can't complain.
It's always the best.
Oh yeah. Now, before we get into, there was a tie-in I had from last night that I was going to bring up, but we'll bring that up after the thing that I lead off with everybody with when they first come on the show. What got you started as a fan, and then what got you decided to make that leap into the business?
Uh, as a fan, when I was a young kid, and excuse my voice, my vocal cords have been through the ringer.
Ah,
But as a young kid, my brother and I were always wrestling fans. And our dad took us to see wrestling live at Como.
mm,
We saw WWF at the time, Roddy Piper versus Paul Orndorff. And
mm,
like, of course, I was a Hulkamaniac, but like that match in my memory is kind of what got the ball
the young
rolling.
boss.
And then as far as what, deciding to step in the ring, it was really my brother. Bubba McKenzie. He was really gung ho. We had a relationship with the Insane Clown Posse,
Mm,
and he basically pushed it with Rudy Hill, Rude Boy. And as a result of his persistence and me being a younger brother who always looked up to him and wanted to do it as well, I followed his footsteps and we did that. So yep, that's how that
awesome.
started.
Awesome. I love hearing everybody's stories behind that. And funny enough, Bubba McKenzie, I actually have him on my schedule here very in the next month or so.
Incredible, awesome.
That's going to be fun. Fun little tie-in there. Now, the tie-in that I had from Mania was, much like Brock Lesnar apparently retired. He left his boots and his gloves in the ring, And
Yeah, we saw that.
that was before I get into my question. That was something I know for me. I knew his time, he was much closer to the end of his career than the start of it. But did I think it was going to happen last night? Probably not.
Right, right.
But much like Lesnar retired as of recording last night, you yourself are what you're calling your final orbit,
Right.
2026. Now, everybody has, you know, their their moment or their that thing that got them deciding that it was time. Some people give a little more notice than Brock Lesnar did last night,
Right, right.
but what was the thing that made you decide that it it was time?
Um, well, a number of things, but ultimately, it was my body. It's, a lot of years of wear and tear on my body. Even before I got into wrestling, I was into martial arts.
Mm.
Played drums, since I was a kid. So it really came down to not being so sure that I'd be able to still perform in the ring at the level
Yeah,
that I felt, my character, like Mysterious Movado, whatever it is that I built, right?
yeah,
Um, I didn't want it to detract from that, and I'm always going to be involved in the business. I don't think I can ever not be involved. Just I've
yeah,
been involved since I was 16. But now with my role back, I'm a coach once more now at Ringmaster's Lab, and I think that's a lot more fulfilling for me now, as kind of getting to live vicariously, through new talent or talent that is trying to take it to the next level. We're trying to finish them and try and take them to that level. So, for me to be able to concentrate on that and a lot of the goals that I just have personally, um, it was a good idea for me to kind of be done in the ring regularly, right?
yeah.
And that's what the final orbit for me means. It's like, it's the last chance this year to kind of catch me on a regular basis, performing every week at CCW at the city championship wrestling at Ringmasters Lab, and I'm doing that every week. So that's pretty much where you can catch me, locally in the Michigan area, in East Point. Other than that, I'm making my way to places that I've missed, places that have asked me to come back, which is what I did just recently at Bruce City Wrestling in Wisconsin, and that was a blast. So I got a lot of cool things coming up, and a lot of surprises that'll be along the way. But I just think that in order for me to pour my energy into being the Mysterious Movado, it takes a lot out of me, and I'm a lot older now, and I'm starting to realize that with my body. So quite honestly,
Oh,
physically, it's kind of that's where that decision was made up.
oh, yeah. I can understand that, especially when you're you've got your standards that you've set for yourself, and when you start to wonder if you're still gonna be able to go to those standards that you set for yourself, and you don't want to diminish it, then yeah, I can totally understand that. And one of the places that I know I saw announced, and I actually, as one of the official podcast sponsors for Fantastic League of Wrestling, I saw a part of your final orbit is actually going to be with them.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, the biggest part I would say, as far as who I've made a commitment to on a long term, and I'm just so happy to be with Flow. I think that what they do is fantastic. It's right in steps, right in line with my pro wrestling philosophy and what I've wanted to do my whole career and what I have done. Both as a promoter and booker and an in-ring talent. If you want to say I'm talented, I'm just putting that as the name.
I get
um,
you, and I
but
know.
yeah, Flow, man. And, I mean, John and Jamie and the crew, everybody over there cares so deeply about the fans and about the presentation, as do I.
Yeah,
And when I was invited to be a part of that, it really touched me deeply. And so I'm loving to be there, kind of as like a player coach type role,
yeah.
and to help in the locker room. And so far, my first go over there, it was fantastic, unintended.
Oh yeah, no, they have a great product there. I've been proud to have my little part in it, but I know they actually just recently had the launch of their next season with for a very good cause with the
Yeah,
Special Olympics, and
yeah, it was great.
getting to see the joy they brought to those that were in attendance. I'm like, that's awesome. I love seeing that sort of thing, especially with not that I go into a lot of the craziness that's out there in the world today. I try to be a little bit of an escape from that, but to see people that are doing some good out there, like Flo is with
Right,
causes like that,
right.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the best thing about pro wrestling, really, uh, is that sense of community. And it always has been that.
Oh yeah,
It's the community we have backstage. It's the community have with fans have with each other. It's the community we have with our local communities.
mm, definitely.
So, I mean, again, there's so many reasons why I'm thrilled to be there, but relationship with the Special Olympics there, big, big with my heart, and
Oh,
anything I can do to help, I will be there, and I'm looking forward to future events that we'll be doing as well, like in Chicago.
oh yeah, and I know the thing I've also been loving is there's been that open door or the forbidden door sort of thing, with the working relationships between different promotions out there, national TV scale and on the independents. Flow has definitely been doing some good things with the international partnerships. Like,
Big,
heck,
big stuff. Yeah,
from the UK, they're one of their champions right now, Tommy Gunn. They got
yeah,
people coming in from Dragon Gate over in Japan and all throughout Asia, and
yeah.
a lot of bright young talent out there as well. So for somebody to jump in there to be a player coach sort of aspect, like you said for yourself, that's got to be, especially coming up on the last parts of your, consistent in ring career, got to be one of the rewarding aspects, I would imagine, of jumping in there for a promotion like Flow.
100%, 100%. So much good is happening, and again, it's a great team that does a lot of hard work, and again, just the fact that I can try and contribute in any way, I feel great about. So 100%, man. I'm really excited for it.
And another thing that I thought might be interesting to hear is, you know, you see in some interviews with some of the people that have recently retired, that looking back on their careers, you've been a lot of places. You mentioned with the Insane Clown Posse. I know right now they've got something good cooking up with Lunacy, and you've been there for a lot of stuff there. What
Sure.
what are going to be some memories from your career that you're going to carry with you past when the spinal orbit comes to a close from places like JCW and the plethora of other places you've been at through your career?
Man, I mean, I don't know that we have enough time.
Yeah, that might be
uh,
a bit of a loaded one there.
and but check it out. I don't say that like in any grandiose way as to say, oh, I've done so many cool things. I say it in a way that I am really grateful. And it's just because of pro wrestling, it's just afforded me some of the coolest like things and wildest things and most unique things. You know, again through our relationship with ICP and Rude Boy, we had the opportunity. I worked with the Midnight Express. I worked with Powers of Pain, the Head Shrinkers.
Mm.
Because of our relationship with Phil Monahan, we got to work with Hall of Famer, Demolition. I
Mm.
got to work with Bushwhacker Luke. Because of Rudy Hill, I was able to work with Hernandez and Davari, Shark Boy, and I mean, when people believe in you, my gear maker, Chalonga Mask, brought me to Mexico. My relationships there are incredible because of being in Mexico and then having a relationship with like Sam Adonis and knowing him and his family
Mm.
for years. I was able to get on Dragon Mania, at Arena Mexico. Um, so, being at Arena Mexico backstage, calling home, to my brother, it was emotional, to be there.
Oh yeah.
Calling home to my guys that were on a show at the same time. It was pretty cool because they put me on speaker and I was able to talk to them as they were getting ready for their show, but I'm getting ready to do like the coolest thing in my entire career.
Oh yeah.
So, so I mean, that's just a blur of kind of things, I mean, and it's all thanks to everyone else, that believed in me.
Yeah.
Uh, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh
and
totally.
I think that that's what pro wrestling is all about. It's understanding the strengths and weaknesses of people, and working with them to create some magic.
Oh yeah.
And I've really been fortunate that there's been a lot of people that have worked with me over the years that I'm just so proud to have been able to do that. And I know I'm forgetting a ton, but that's just literally off the top of my
Oh yeah.
terrible short-term memory. So
Oh yeah. No, and like I I feel kind of the same way with this podcast for myself, that I've been blessed to get to have on some of the people I've had on, and some of the opportunities I've been afforded from very early on, before I even hit 100 episodes, and getting to have on and actually have footage featured on pre-shows for Warrior Wrestling out of Chicago, and
uh,
getting invited to their stop in St. Louis that they did a while back, and getting to be a part of the fan fest, and getting to talk with, well, I didn't have on some of these people, but getting to talk with people like Jeff Cobb and sitting right across the aisle from Mike Bennett and talking with Lance Archer and actually getting to record an episode with Bronson Reed at that and get to have people on being a big Ring of Honor guy like I've been, getting to have people like Carrie Silken, oh god, I'm gonna forget a few myself, but
of course, right.
getting to have people on like Dutch from The Righteous, and getting to share a little bit of a moment with him when the late Bray Wyatt actually acknowledged the post I did of that episode and about dropping my phone and asking him because I didn't know at the time. So,
All right.
and then reaching out to him when Bray passed, I just said, you know what? I'm not expecting a response. I'm just letting you know I'm thinking about you and actually responding and
Right. That
stuff,
was
stuff
cool.
like that with some of the
Oh, cool.
names that, like, if you would have told me before I started the podcast that I'd be talking with people like that, with people that have had the careers such as yourself, that I would have thought you were full of shit. And here I am, and just looking back and thinking that in a kind of a personal situation that I almost quit doing it because of my wife and I were pregnant with twin girls, but they were born premature and only made it a week. And I about stopped, but then I'm like, you know what?
Sure.
My
Anybody would, right?
my I just said to myself, I wouldn't want my girls to think daddy was a quitter, so I jumped right back on in, and here I am approaching almost 430 episodes now.
Well, respect to you, brother.
And just thinking that I'm actually, as of this recording, sitting at 522 subscribers on the YouTube channel. When I started, I had maybe 15.
Right. And climbing. Going
Yeah.
up.
Oh, yeah. So hearing stuff like that from you and just made me think of memories that I've had throughout, relatively short life compared to your career, but still.
It's what it's all about, man. I mean, it's everybody's experience, and that's what's so great. I mean, going to Flow on Saturday, I reconnected with a guy I hadn't seen in a long time, Kid Riot,
Mm.
and it was just a funny interaction where, like, 17 years ago, lessons were had, things were done, and then after, it's just, I know it's a lot of backstage stuff, but then, like, fast forward all these years later, and it's like, wow, seeing him now and having conversations, especially with John over there, it was really cool. And so those full circle moments, man, you never know, like the impact that you're gonna have on somebody,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You just never know that. So, and I always remember that quote. I believe it's by Angelou, like, and I always change it up. Like, people might not remember the match, right? They might
Mm.
not remember the moves you did. They might not remember the high spot. They might not remember the cute, spot that you did or the reversal. But they will always remember how you made them feel,
Oh, yeah.
right? And I think that, and you can apply that and change the beginning of that quote, to 100 different things, but
Yeah.
it's very true in all ways. And I'm always conscious of how pro wrestling makes people feel.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me feel great being there with Flo Saturday to help with the Special Olympics. And it makes me feel great to be involved in Ringmaster's Lab, helping coach and train the next generation. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
makes me feel great to be involved at Drinkinatmos. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Now I have two categories And first one's a bit of a name game where I name off some people. You give me some quick thoughts on them. And I try to theme it towards the guests as much as possible. And with you having a very memorable mask, I figured each of these people, very famous masks in and of their own right, going to be a couple that are, well, I think some of them are still going. Some of them were just performing as of last night at Mania, and a couple more legendary side, maybe not so much active right now, but still very memorable masks. So I give you a name, quick thoughts on each of them.
Go.
First one of my personal favorites right now when it comes to mass wrestlers, current Intercontinental Champion, Penta.
Incredible. It factor. He's got everything. He's got the excitement. He's got the connectivity.
Mm-hmm.
Love him.
Oh
Big
yeah,
fan.
I've been a huge fan of his ever since first watching him in Lucha Underground.
Yeah. You know what? Let me turn the light on here. I noticed that it's getting a little bit dark.
Oh
What's
yeah,
up?
no, go ahead, man.
I can get it here.
No, it's all good. It happens.
There we are.
There we go. All right.
Let
But
there
yeah.
be light.
Oh yeah. No, we're all good. But yeah, like I
There
was
we are.
saying, Lucha Underground, huge fan of his from
Yeah.
back then watching him, and
Him
that's
versus Chelsea Green. Wow.
that match, yeah. And then funny thing, I've actually thinking of another tie-in. I've actually been lucky enough to, being the big Lucha Underground fan that I am, I've had a handful of people that have gone through Lucha Underground on, including former champion Marty the Moth. Yeah.
Power slap champ guy.
And then getting to having gotten my start watching independent wrestling when I was stationed out in San Diego in Southern California, and actually getting introduced to this guy there, and then seeing him come on Lucha Underground, Famous B. And my big memory I have of that particular episode was something that I don't think I actually told him, but in my head, when I, the little intro that I have everybody do, in my head, I was thinking, oh man, if he did like the gimmick that he had in Lucha Underground with like the cheesy used car salesman with like the number get.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
in my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, if he does that, I'm gonna struggle so bad not to fanboy out like crazy. And then he did it.
Of course.
In my head, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'll admit. But going back to Penta, yeah, everything that he's doing right now, man, it, much like you said, it factor. If there is a guy out there, it factor, that guy right there.
Yep.
Yep.
And I mean, and he just transcends. He just transcends. It's everything that we talk about, like when we coach guys getting in the business, and we talk about be different, be interesting to look at,
Mm-hmm.
and then once you're captivated by all of that, deliver. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he just does that at every single level. So
Oh yeah.
big fan.
And next person, a guy that was in the ring with him last night, another guy that, conveniently enough, also passed through Lucha Underground. And talking about a very legendary luchador still going at it today, Rey Mysterio.
Oh, I mean, the boss, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the boss. I was fortunate to actually work with his uncle, Rey Mysterio Sr., before he passed. So I worked with him when we used to run Revolution.
Mm.
And so that, I mean, just being able to have that connection through his roots. Ray, just the boss. I mean, the measuring stick. And I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
50, 50, whatever. I mean, Hall of Famer. Just incredible. Incredible.
Oh yeah. And I'll admit, having spent the amount of time that I have in San Diego and knowing the love he has there, and he, San Diego's like a second home to me. So getting to have, you know, that whatever degrees of separation, like, hey, I lived in San Diego for a while.
Yeah.
A
Oh,
little,
yeah.
yeah. Now,
That's me
next
trying to
up,
be cool. Booyaka.
Booyaka, yes. Now, another, I'm thinking more of the guy that I remember from WCW days, but apparently there's still somebody under this particular mask today. La Parca.
Oh, yeah. So, well, whoever's doing this current Aparca, excuse me, I think he's doing a great job. You have the original chairman, which is L.A. Park. And that's the gentleman that we worked with that was former IWR Revolution champion, the original La Parca. But, AAA had the rights to La Parca. It's a famous situation, right?
Yeah.
So he always went forward with a different La Parca, who, of course, had passed away, which, rest in peace. So whoever's doing it, though, I mean, they're doing a great job. He's pretty skinny.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
the last time I saw him, I
But
think was on
yeah,
SmackDown for the Andre the
but he's
Giant
awesome.
Battle Royal.
He's awesome. Yeah, he's great. But like, what do you know? Are you kidding me that my thing that I would say is that negative is that it's skinny, but I mean he's awesome, But yeah, it's a great gimmick, man. He does great with it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely does a great job with it. Now there have been people, especially recently, that have become kind of belt collectors. Pictures with all the titles that they currently have. But I think you and I can agree one of the original well-known belt collectors out there, Ultimo Dragon.
Uh, I mean, I have such a special place in my heart. First of all, I first met Ultimo Dragon through Revolution as like the booker promoter, and he was a pleasure to work with. And then once I made it to Mexico, I was fortunate enough to be invited to be a part of the Dragon Scramble at Dragon Mania in Arena, Mexico, and I did that 2 years in a row, and I was also fortunate enough to be invited back to his place in Mexico City for like the sponsors after party. So it's a surreal situation, surreal. So Ultimo Dragon, most utmost of respect. He cooks an incredible steak. And thank you to Sam Adonis and Luis Lopez for making it happen for me. But yeah, Ultimo. And it turns out he's an incredible tag team partner as we tag teamed for Ula La Lucha as well. So incredible guy.
Nice.
He
Oh
is
man.
a G. G'd up from the feet up, custom made, head to toe, like the Ric Flair of Japan and Mexico, only with much better behavior.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Like we've all heard some of the crazy Ric Flair stories out there.
No shade, no heat, please, no heat, Rick.
No,
Just
no,
saying.
not at all. All the respect in the world for the nature boy, but yeah, no, like I think I've had my crazy drinking days. Like Ric Flair puts those to shame.
No, no, you haven't.
Yeah, not compared to him. definitely, definitely not. But now I actually have some random questions, some wrestling related, some not. That's why it's random. So I give you the question first answer that pops into your head. Now with a career like you've had, there's probably going to be quite a bit to choose from here. But craziest in match moment for yourself?
uh, there was a time for JCW where I was involved in the Bumpin' Uglies. Three of us, Bumpin' Uglies, random, were involved in a match where I received a concussion. Uh, and in my fog, in my haze, took that to mean it was intentional, like the talent was trying to hurt me. And I retaliated with basically blindly, like in this state. Uh, and unfortunately, it was somebody that they were really trying to put over. And I'm not trying to bury anybody, so I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
But they had gotten a bunch of wins, and we were basically essentially jobbers. And yeah, I laid in, and unfortunately, it was something it's crazy because I can't believe it's something like that has ever happened. And I got fired for it, rightly so. And it took a minute for that talent and I to have a better understanding of as to what happened, and communicate, and make sure that that was all good. That's probably one of the craziest things as far as like
Oh yeah.
in
No.
happening where we didn't know what the hell was going to happen.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
off the top of my head, but yeah, and that's as far as wild goes.
Oh yeah. No, that would definitely fit. And that's a question I always love asking people because the very lengths of careers. It's always been interesting to me because I I've heard some very interesting stories from people. Oh God, I remember hearing stories from the original ECW involving New Jack,
Oh
and
boy,
yeah, it
we have
included.
stories here. My buddy has stories involving New Jack. So
Oh yeah, and I mean, God rest his soul, but yeah, it involved both of them going through a wall, and yeah, that was something. I remember, and for those that have been around to know this story, the stuff involving Bruiser Brody in Puerto Rico, and knowing somebody that they very much know how to play the heel, and they wore a shirt that said both in English and I believe both in English and in Spanish, but the shirt basically said "Justice for Brody," and he basically got told that if they brought him, the promotion brought him back, that he wasn't making it back home. And so yeah, I've heard all sorts of
wow,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty wild there.
Oh God, yeah. Like I've had people on from well, they don't live in Puerto Rico right now, but had people on that I've got all the respect in the world for fans from all over. But when you talk about passionate fans, it seems like the ones in Puerto Rico seem to take it to a whole nother level.
It's everything down there, right? If you think about it,
Oh yeah.
I mean, the passion for every single thing down there. Um, and wouldn't you too be passionate about anything that might give you joy?
Oh yeah, no. You got to respect that when,
So yeah,
somebody.
it's wild. It's like it's always been like the Wild West in terms of wrestling. you know,
Oh yeah. And some of the stuff, even today, not to that level of craziness, but still seeing the passion displayed going back, what was it, a few years ago now, when WWE did Backlash down there, and they had the Bad Bunny match with Damian
oh,
Priest.
dude,
The
dude, that place was
reaction.
like
Oh
way
man,
too much.
I'm getting
Yeah,
goosebumps just talking about it. The way
oh, it's
they were,
incredible. Yeah,
the moment that music hit, and they were going along with every word from the
well,
end
that's
to
Bad
start.
Bunny, man. 100%.
Oh yeah.
That's
Ne-
Bad Bunny right there. That's the value of him.
oh yeah. And somebody that, the when it comes to celebrities getting into the ring, there's been varying degrees of, some have gone very well, much like Bad Bunny. And there's been others that, we're not even going to mention. They were just, it was bad.
And there have been some others that are
And
like that.
there's been an in between. But hey, it brings eyes to the product that might not have been there before. So now, one thing that I was definitely thinking of, because I've been lucky enough to do traveling between, before the Navy, during the Navy, and after. What would you say is a dream vacation spot when you get a chance for like an actual vacation?
Well, first of all, thank you for your service. And then second of all, I would say, I mean, my mom lives over in England. I would like to get back over there. I haven't been
Oh,
there since I was a kid prior to her living there. So I would like to get back there, especially to wrestle before I hang it up. Japan,
hmm.
and I mean, I've had the time of my life in Mexico City.
Oh,
So I think those would be my spots.
those would be it. Yeah, no, they're definitely awesome. I've not been lucky enough to be over to England. I wouldn't mind going over there. I've with the Navy, one of the few spots it seemed in Asia that I didn't get to go to was Japan. We anchored off of Japan for a little bit on deployment, so I could see it, but I
Right.
didn't get to step on land. So
Like
to
where
get,
Okinawa or something like that. Or,
so yeah, to get to go to some place like that, or I've always, and I mean, some people for parts of this maybe thought I was a little nuts, but I've always thought it'd be cool to, one, go to a wrestling show over in Japan,
yeah.
and then I've seen a bunch of the videos on YouTube and stuff of people going to those capsule hotels.
All right.
It'd be like, go to a wrestling show and stay at one of those. Oh, hello, kitty.
This is Helga. This is Helga the Chunky Cat.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
She,
my
she has a bit of a weight issue, uh,
I.
but she's very happy and healthy.
Oh yeah. No, my wife and I, we have two cats, and we got an English bulldog.
Oh, nice.
So we're talking about a big old chunk. That English bulldog.
Yeah,
He's
I bet.
I love him to death though. Now, with the name of a show like I have, I feel like I have to ask this one. Favorite drink, alcoholic or otherwise?
Uh, Alcoholic, I guess. My favorite drink would be like Long Island
Okay.
iced tea. Non-alcoholic, uh, unsweetened iced tea.
Okay.
Iced tea either way.
Iced tea either way, but you like the unsweetened in particular.
Right, right. I'm sweet enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my wife like I jokingly one time because she likes more of the unsweetened stuff herself. Me, I like some of the well, I got spoiled when I part of my Navy time was actually down southeast in Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, that whole area. So I got like the good stuff that they put. You see the big ass jugs of it of the
Yeah,
sweet
that
tea.
sweet tea, right?
So one time my wife asked me, I was going somewhere to get something to drink. She asked me to get her a bottle of the unsweet tea, and so I bought one bottle of the unsweetened, and I bought a bottle of the sweetened stuff. And jokingly, I hid the unsweetened stuff so like she couldn't see it. And
Right,
I
can't
handed
pay
her the bottle of the sweet stuff, and she just looks at me like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Where's mine?
So then I'm like, "It's right here." No, yeah, some. You know what? I don't know. I'll drink the unsweetened stuff, but if I have my choice, probably more of a sweetened tea myself. But that to each their own on all of that.
Hey man, we need a little sweetness, a little extra here sometimes. You never know.
Oh yeah. Now, last question I have here. Best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling?
Um, take a lot of time to prepare. And what I mean by that is like honestly assess what pro wrestling is. Um, look at yourself in the mirror. This is not about body shaming or nothing like that. This is just about look at yourself. Does it seem believable that someone would want to watch you in a fight? Does it seem believable that somebody would get behind you in a fight? Um, and then think about what else you have to offer. Because think about what made you a fan of wrestling and what you love about it. If you can't see yourself, performing at that level or at least getting to somewhere close to that level, I don't know that it's wise to invest a lot of money, time, effort, possibly injuring yourself.
Oh yeah.
So, we run into a lot of people that it's almost a phenomenon of like fantasy camp wrestling, where it's they people show up and it's like these are people that you would think has never done anything athletic in their entire lives, and it's sometimes it's like, well, what made you think like there's only one Danhausen, bro, and like even him is athletic and is an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get it twisted, But everyone's like, oh, he's a theater kid and all that. But guess what? Like, it's no. You also, I mean, we're all theater kids, but you also have
Yeah.
to look like a formidable athlete. And what we do is very hard on the body.
Oh yeah.
So you have to also be a formidable frame to take that.
Oh yeah.
And, that's kind of the biggest thing. I mean, I would also say as much as it is difficult physically, and I always say this to all the students, it's even more difficult emotionally and mentally. Pro wrestling is so difficult on every level, whether you're just learning it, whether you're just getting going on your trajectory and you're traveling around and on the grind, whether you are so close to possibly breaking through and all the no's and all the setbacks and all the injuries. whether you're somebody like myself who is wrapping things up and you find yourself in Wisconsin and absolutely crying inside of your mask because you didn't anticipate how emotional it would be to be there, like in what could be your final time.
Yeah.
um I mean, it's all of these things.
Oh yeah.
And trust me, from somebody who I wasn't able to wrestle for a few years, and have that kind of taken away from you, that is something big. It's hard,
Oh yeah.
on us mentally. And I have some friends of mine that are unable to perform right now. I have some friends that are just getting back into the game, and it's again, it's on no level is it easy.
Yeah.
So I always say, the more preparation you can have in terms of mental and physical, the better.
Oh,
So,
for sure. For
in
sure.
a nutshell.
For sure. Definitely. Now, before we go, I got two final things here. One, where can people find you social media wise? So if they want to get their eyes on the final orbit, they can go ahead and do so.
You know, I wish I could tell you on all the socials, but I kind of withdrew from a lot of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm an old guy on Facebook. So, Movado Real is my Facebook, where you can find me. Everything else has actually been hijacked and appropriated by other people. So,
So just
hopefully nothing.
stick with the
Yeah,
face.
yeah, but hopefully nothing bad's being done. I haven't seen anything, being like, spammed or
Yeah.
spoofed about it. But I just don't have access to it. So, but anyway, as far as that goes, or really just through the promotions and the social media of who I'm working with.
Oh yeah.
So, Ringmasters Lab and Training Facility on all socials. Flow Wrestling on all socials. That's who I would really forward you to, on top of just me trying to do my thing in that ring, trying to connect one more time with everybody, and say, most importantly, more so than goodbye, thank you.
Mm,
Just
definitely.
for everything. My life is just would have been so much more, I don't know, it would have been different and just way less interesting had it not been for pro wrestling and the
Oh yeah.
fans.
And well, you kind of already in saying that actually went into what my other thing was going to be is message to the fans. Basically, like you said it. Thank you.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, I
definitely.
mean, that's really it. At Bruce City Wrestling, they were kind enough to let me say some words, and it was basically that. Like I let the people know it's as loud as they are in the crowd, and their reaction. It's so very important, and it feeds us. Um, we're even louder in our hearts. It's louder our affection for them, because everything we do is literally for them. Without the wrestling fan, none of this exists. And I'll never forget that. And I'll never forget, just how special they made my life.
Awesome. Well, that is about all I have. I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. Been an absolute pleasure, and I wish you all the best on this final orbit.
And thanks so much, you guys, for having me. You do an excellent job. I appreciate everything here. Thanks for the opportunity and the platform. Love all you humans out there. Continue to be drinking at Moe's. Wah, wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah, wah, wah.
Now my issue with this fucking button. Whoop. See, I hit the wrong freaking button. I'm telling you.
That out.